Some cities are so top secret they can't even be found on a map. Whether they are hidden in the forest or buried deep underground, here are 30 underground places in America that are hidden from the public. Number 1. Raven Rock. The US government carved out a secret underground city that they can flee to in case nuclear war breaks out. It's called the Raven Rock, and like Area 51, is one of the government's most classified projects. An individual who worked there for 3.5 years talked on camera for the first time, describing to Vice what it's like. The base is 768 feet below the ground, and it can survive a direct nuclear hit. It is protected by two 3.5-foot thick, 30-ton doors built on top of springs to survive the shock from a blast. There are 5 buildings with 15 floors in total, each big enough for 50 to 80 offices. It's called an underground city because it's like a self-sufficient place to live and work. The base has everything it needs to keep running, like a cafeteria, barbershop, water, generators, and even a medical center. It was built in the 1950s for a threat that never came. Number 2. Underground Atlanta. Underground Atlanta is a historic spot in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. It started in the 1800s as a commercial district for shops and trains centered around the railroad. In the 1920s, viaducts were built and the streets were raised, creating a second level of underground streets and buildings. For decades, people forgot about it, but in the 1960s it was brought back to life as a fun place for music, bars, and nightlife. Some stories about the Prohibition era secrets are part history and part legend. Today, it's being rebuilt to mix its rich history with new ideas. Number 3. New York City Subterranean World. Under New York City, there's a whole hidden world. Beyond the subways millions use daily, there are secret vaults under Little Italy and the public library, cattle tunnels in the meatpacking district, and rumored trading tunnels in Soho. Some of these underground spaces go as deep as 800 feet. There are pipes for water, 840 miles of subway tracks, and mail tubes built in 1897 that were used to send letters between post offices until the 1950s. A part of the subway system is the City Hall station, opened in 1904 and closed in 1945. It's a hidden gem with stained glass and mosaics, and you can see it with your own eyes by staying on the 6th train past the last stop. The world's oldest subway tunnel, Brooklyn's Atlantic Avenue Tunnel, is part of this huge underground complex too. It was built in 1844, sealed in 1861, and rediscovered in 1980 by Bob Diamond, who found it through a manhole. But the surprises don't stop there. Workers once found a ship from the 1600s just 15 feet underground. Number 4. Permafrost Tunnel Research Facility, Alaska. The Permafrost Tunnel in Alaska is a cool place to learn about frozen ground that's over 40,000 years old. It's a long tunnel that was dug from 1963 to 1969 to study permafrost and how to build and mine in frozen environments. Inside, scientists study ice, ancient plants, and even bones from animals like mammoths from the Pleistocene epoch. The tunnel shows layers of earth, showing frozen ground from different time periods. It helps scientists learn how permafrost works and what might happen as the world gets warmer. Number 5. Mini Manhattan. In 1969, an architect named J. Swayze wanted to build an underground city that would be thousands of feet below the ground. It would be a safe place to live during a nuclear attack. His plan included underground skyscrapers, homes, stores, and parks. It was designed to hold 1 million people. The city would have everything people needed to survive for a long time. This included food, water, power, and even clean air. It was called the Mini Manhattan because it was like New York City but underground. Although the plan never became real, he did make some projects come to life. One of them in Texas is called the Atomitat, the name being a mix of atomic and habitat. Number 6. Subtropolis, Kansas City. Subtropolis is a huge underground business complex in Kansas City. It's carved out of limestone and covers 55 million square feet. The complex has offices, storage spaces, and even factories. It stays cool all year, making it perfect for businesses. Over 1,600 people work there every day. It's the world's largest underground business complex. Number 7. Seattle Underground Abandoned City. Seattle Underground is a hidden city beneath the streets of Seattle. In the mid-19th century, Seattle's streets were at ground level. But there was a big fire in 1889 that burned down downtown Seattle. When they rebuilt the city, they made the streets higher, essentially making a whole new second floor on top of its existing ruins. People used these underground spaces for a while, but in 1907 they were closed to prevent illegal activities. In the 1950s, the abandoned tunnels became a tourist attraction and were open for tours. Today you can see old storefronts, bank vaults, and even learn about how people used to flush toilets in weird ways back then. Number 8. Path, Toronto. Path is a huge underground walkway in downtown Toronto, Canada. This system started in the 1920s and has grown a lot since then. It stretches over 30 kilometers and connects more than 70 buildings. Inside there are over 1,200 shops, restaurants, and services. Every day, more than 200,000 people use Path to get around the city. It's especially helpful during bad weather, letting people travel between places without going outside. Path also links to public transit, making it easy for commuters and visitors to navigate downtown Toronto. Number 9. The Greenbrier Bunker, White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. The Greenbrier Bunker is a secret underground facility beneath a luxury hotel that has hosted numerous US presidents and famous guests. It was built during the Cold War to protect the US Congress in the event of a nuclear attack. It was designed to house all 535 members of Congress and their staff for a long time. The secret remained hidden until 1992, when a Washington Post article exposed it. Today, visitors can take tours to see special rooms like blast doors and decontamination areas. Number 10. Underground tunnels of Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville has hidden tunnels with stories of smuggling, hidden railroads, and city expansion. Some tunnels date back to the Civil War, used for transporting goods or soldiers. Others were built as utility tunnels for steam and coal delivery in the 1800s. In some areas, people believe these tunnels were used for secret escapes or Prohibition-era activities. Many of them are hidden from the public, but their existence is well known. Number 11. Bluegrass Underground, Tennessee. Bluegrass Underground is another cool underground spot in Tennessee. It's a concert venue deep in a cave 333 feet underground. The natural acoustics of the cave make the sound amazing, making it perfect for live music. People come from all over to hear music in this cool, quiet space. This unique venue hosts a variety of performances like bluegrass and other music. The cave's cool and quiet atmosphere makes the experience extra special. Number 12. Hidden Catacombs of Indianapolis. Thousands of people visit the Indianapolis city market every day, but not many of them know about the hidden catacombs just underneath them. They were built in the 1880s as part of Tomlinson Hall. It burned down in the 1950s, but the basement stayed strong and is still there today. It was once used for storage but is now open for tours, events, and parties. Visitors can walk through the spooky tunnels and see the old brick arches. Number 13. Los Angeles Prohibition Tunnels. In the 1920s, Prohibition made people think of clever ways to make, sell, and drink adult beverages. That's why they built 11 miles of underground tunnels right under Los Angeles. Many of them are closed now, but you can still find hidden entrances around the city. You can go on a tour to explore these tunnels and learn about their secret history. Similar tunnels can be found all around America, like the ones in Dallas, Detroit, and San Francisco. Number 14. The Crypt of Civilization, Georgia. Could you imagine finding an old time capsule from over 6,000 years ago? The Crypt of Civilization is a glimpse into our future past. It is a time capsule sealed in 1940 at Oglethorpe University in Atlanta, Georgia. It will stay closed until the year 8113, making it one of the longest sealed time capsules in the world. Inside there are over 800 items from the 20th century, like books, records, and everyday objects. The crypt is in a room beneath the university, and the entrance is marked with a plaque describing its purpose. Number 15. Cheyenne Mountain Complex, Colorado. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex is a giant bunker hidden inside a mountain in Colorado. It was built during the Cold War in the 1960s to protect the US military from nuclear attacks. The bunker is buried deep under 2,000 feet of solid granite, making it super strong and safe. It was once the command center for NORAD, the group that keeps watch for threats like missiles or planes. The complex has blast doors that weigh 25 tons each and can withstand a nuclear blast. It also has its own power, water, and food supply so people could live there for months if needed. It's still used today but has a smaller role, with rumors it may soon become a museum. And it remains one of the safest places in the world. Number 16. Tunnel under the Colorado State Capitol, Denver. Under the Colorado State Capitol, there is a hidden tunnel. It holds the steam heating system for the building. There's also storage for marble used to fix the Capitol. You can even find empty vaults down there. But Denver has more tunnels connecting places like Union Station, the Oxford Hotel, and 9 other locations. Some tunnels were built under restaurants to hide workers after Denver's Chinatown was destroyed in the late 1800s. Number 17. Washington, D.C. Underground. Washington, D.C. Underground is a vastly used underground system in the United States. Many people outside of government don't even know these tunnels exist. It's a big maze of tunnels connecting government buildings and subway stations. These tunnels help Congress members and government workers move around easily. Inside, there are hundreds of restaurants, food courts, and shops. People walk through these hallways every day to get to work. Most people outside of government don't even know these tunnels exist. It's a secret system that keeps the city moving. Number 18. Crystal City Underground, Virginia. Beneath Crystal City, near Washington, D.C., lies a network of shops, restaurants, and offices. It opened in 1976 and was designed to feel like an old shopping village with cobblestone streets and antique glass windows. The underground space covers 150,000 square feet and connects several buildings. It's a popular spot for office workers and visitors, especially when the weather is bad. In 2024, all the shops closed, ending its retail era. However, the underground walkways and connections to the metro remain open for pedestrians. Number 19. Louisville's Mega Cavern, Louisville, Kentucky. The Louisville Mega Cavern is a huge underground space. It was once a limestone mine in the 1930s. Now it's used for storage, events, and even an underground bike park. It covers 100 acres and stays at 58 degrees Fahrenheit all year. Visitors can zip line, ride bikes, or take tram tours. The cavern also has 17 miles of tunnels to explore. It's the only underground zip line in the world. Number 20. Old North Church Crypt, Massachusetts. Beneath Boston's Old North Church is a crypt with over 1,100 burials. The church is famous for helping Paul Revere during the American Revolution. They hung lanterns in the church tower to warn people about British soldiers. One lantern meant they were coming by land, and 2 lanterns meant they were coming by sea. The crypt is full of old coffins, and some of them are in surprisingly good condition for being over 200 years old. You can visit the crypt on tours and learn about the church's history and the people buried there. Number 21. The Cavern Suite, Arizona. The Cavern Suite in the Grand Canyon Caverns is a hotel room 220 feet underground. This room is the darkest and quietest room in the world. The air is pumped from 65 miles away to make sure it's safe to breathe. It's very peaceful and calm. The room is deep inside the earth, surrounded by nature. It's a perfect place for a quiet escape from the outside world. Number 22. Havre beneath the streets, Montana. After a big fire in 1904, businesses in Havre moved underground. They used old steam tunnels to stay safe from fires and bad weather. The tunnels were busy with shops and people, but today it is completely silent. You can still visit them to see old shops and learn how people stayed safe and worked over 100 years ago. It's like going back in time to see what life was like. Number 23. Forestiere Underground Gardens, California. Balthasar Forestiere spent 40 years digging these underground gardens by hand. He created rooms, tunnels, and courtyards to escape the hot summer sun. The gardens have fruit trees, grapevines, ponds, and even a chapel. Some of the trees are over 90 years old. The gardens help people stay cool in the hot sun. It's like a secret underground paradise. Number 24. Camp Century, Greenland. During the Cold War, the US Army wanted to build a missile site under Greenland's ice. It would be close enough to hit the Soviet Union with medium-range missiles. The plan was to dig a 2,500-mile-long tunnel system underneath the ice. So they built Camp Century in 1959. The base had tunnels, rooms, and even a movie theater. By 1967, the movement of ice convinced them to abandon the project. The base is still buried under the ice. NASA found it in 2024 using special radar. Number 25. Old Sacramento Underground, California. Beneath Sacramento's historic district are tunnels and basements from the 1860s. They were built to keep the city safe from floods. There are tours that will teach you about Sacramento's past during the gold rush. You can see underground spaces and old items like perfume bottles, alcohol jugs, and hairbrushes. You can also see the 4 brothels that were hidden under the city. Number 26. Ellinwood Underground, Kansas. Ellinwood, Kansas has a ghost town under its streets. It used to be a busy stop for railroad workers on the Santa Fe Trail. Today you can visit their old saloons, shops, and bathhouses. The tours also include Jung's barbershop with old furniture and tools used for the railroad workers. Number 27. Light Tunnel, Detroit. Detroit has secret tunnels under the city. Some were used for mining salt, while others were built to keep people safe while walking. One of the most famous is Detroit Airport's McNamara Terminal. Dubbed the Light Tunnel, it's 700 feet long with colorful LED lights that smoothly transition through a range of colors. Glass panels on the walls have designs that look like rivers and other topographic features viewed from the air. Originally, it played Motown music, but now it plays soft, peaceful music. Number 28. Chicago Pedway, Illinois. The Pedway is a network of tunnels and bridges in Chicago. The system covers 5 miles and connects over 50 buildings, including train stations and buses. It started in 1951 and is still used by tens of thousands every day. People can move quickly around the city and stay dry in bad weather. It also reduces traffic accidents by keeping people off the streets. Number 29. Montezuma Castle, Arizona. Not technically underground, but built into the side of a cliff, is an old home in Arizona called the Montezuma Castle. It's like a big apartment made of mud and rocks, and it's over 900 years old. Despite its name, it has nothing to do with the Aztec Emperor Montezuma. The people who built it were called the Sinagua. They lived here a long time ago, but they left about 600 years ago. Number 30. Las Vegas Underground Mansion. This is an underground house in Las Vegas located 26 feet under the ground. A man named Jerry Henderson built it in 1978. He planned to survive the end of the world there. It stays cool in the summer and warm in the winter. There are rooms for sleeping, eating, and playing. Paintings of nature on the walls will make you feel like you're outside. It even has a garden, a swimming pool, and a mini golf course to keep you from getting bored. Some of these underground areas were once inhabited but were later closed for public safety and to prevent illegal activities. If you enjoyed, check out our other videos shown on screen right now. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.